Welcome back to Bad Attitude C10. Today we're going to do a little discussing of a matter to deal with our factory cylinder heads that we're using on our build. Now, while our cylinder heads have been upgraded, ported, polished, springs, you name it, one thing that has not been changed are these little core plugs, freeze plugs, frost plugs, whatever you want to call them. So while all the aftermarket upgrades have been done to our heads, we still have this one thing that could be a weak link in our application. Now, before this starts any complaining, griping, arguing, or something like this, remember, this is my build, so it's my choice to do this upgrade that I'm about to explain. These are pictures of just a couple of things that I found online where people were pushing freeze plugs out that were running mild to moderate amounts of boost, and this could also happen with nitrate. So I don't know if you've ever noticed or not, but most of the aftermarket heads that are produced for the LS platform do not have these cast plugs, freeze plugs, frost plugs, whatever you may want to call them. But there are several companies out there that are now created restraints or plugs or retainers that will help keep these plugs in place. I chose to use a set of billet frost freeze plug brackets offered by Motion Raceworks. Again, guys, it's an upgrade I'm choosing to do. This could prevent, something happening at a track where if one of these plugs were to push out, it would put coolant or water, whichever one I'm running, completely out and in front of my drive wheels, and I could go into a wall or in a ditch or wherever it may happen. It's just an accident that could be prevented. So I'm sticking to the old adage of I'd rather have and not need than need and not have. Alright guys, I'm out in the shop and we're going to unpackage this kit that I picked up from Motion Raceworks. Now guys, I bought this full price. It's not a sponsored thing. They didn't give me anything for free. Purchased them just like anybody else would. I will mention that right now they are marked down like 20 bucks a set. So if this is something you might think you want to do, I take advantage of it while you can save a little cash. But I mean, you can't really put a price on safety anyway, but this is what we got. So they're billet aluminum, and as you can see, it has a recess that will actually go inside where the freeze plug is in the head. That comes with all the hardware that's needed to install them. Since we will be installing these bolts in the aluminum heads, I will be using anti-seize, and since this is going on to stay, we will be doing it right now and putting anti-seize as we install it. Alright guys, if y'all remember in the last video I had applied brake cleaner and chased the threads and all these bolt holes of the heads, and so I didn't skimp on that. So it's a 3/8 ratchet and a 6mm socket, and you just pretty much find out where this mount is going to line up and what bolt hole you need to use. In our case, it's going to be this one on the side. And again, there is like a tang or a recessed area, I guess you'd call it a tang, that goes in a recessed area to keep the freeze plug in if it was to ever try to push out. Now guys, remember when using anti-seize, that stuff gets everywhere. It's kind of like glitter. And there were no instructions that gave us a torque spec or anything on this, so I'm just going to get it pretty tight, snug, however you want to word it, and maybe give it a little bit of a bump. Like I said, that stuff's a mess. It gets everywhere. So that's going to wrap up the back. Now, if you notice, one of them's kind of horizontal and the other one's more like in a vertical state. It's just whichever bolt hole you can find for it to line up with is what you can use. And as you see here, here's a side view that kind of shows you that it doesn't really stick out that much, so it's not going to be in the way of anything, so that's a plus as well. Now, up front, if y'all do remember, the plate that we put on for our torque storm, it actually is flat, and it's covering the hole on the front of that head, so there's no way that plug is going to be able to move out anyway. So that's why this one doesn't have one, because that plate's always going to be there. Now, on the other side, as you can see, it's just in there, it's clean, it's no eyesore or anything like that. So, again, just a peace of mind. So, we'll see you next time.